Is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations, 2018 Innovation Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And I also co-host and co-produce the only online show in the world for dads, fathers, and male caregivers that's sponsored by Dove Men Plus Care. And this is something I was doing beta, but this is a real, well, somewhat of a real thing. It's not fully produced, but as my friend and our friend of ours, Dr. Tag says, sometimes you just put something out and you just build it along the way. This is going to be the first, I say, real edition of Hanging with Dr. Vibe, where we just hang out, chat. Sometimes it'll be myself, sometimes it'll be some friends, and we just talk about maybe some things important, some things not important. Dr. Tatsy is very funny. So sometimes you need to, we both have funny sides because people think we're so focused, content creators, da 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 da. But we do have another side of us. And so this is the first episode. I thought no better person to bring and hang out with is Dr. Tachi. What's been going on, Dr. T?
Nothing. I'm. You probably can't see, but just for you, I wore my nameplate earrings.
Nameplate earrings.
Yes. I haven't worn them yet. I've had them for probably about a month. I saw you could order. I was like, well, why not? I never have anything with my name on it. But yeah, so I said I will pull them
Oh,
out for Dr. Vibe.
well, very, very humbled about that, actually. And okay, so this is what Hanging with Dr. Vibe's all about. Step into a space where real talk meets real relaxation. Hanging with Dr. Vibe is a
Ooh.
online conversation or hangout hosted by myself, Dr. Vibe, where every episode is a fresh blend of genuine conversation, laughter, and reflection. Sometimes solo, sometimes with friends. We'll dive into topics that matter, from life's serious challenges to the lighter everyday moments that make us smile. So whether you're looking for heartfelt insights, a good laugh, or just a place to unwind, this show is designed for you. No scripts, no pressure, just honest dialogue and company. So grab your favorite drink. Today it's water, and I'm back to my water, Dr. Tashi. I am mixing it with my ginger lemonade, but I have my water. Hey, Carolyn. Uh,
Exactly, because you know she's watching and she's going to say something. So yes.
Hey, kick back and join the family, because when you're hanging with Dr. Vibe, you're always among friends. So that's the premise of this new conversation. That's it. That's it. So you're number one. You're
That's a
number
great
one.
premise.
How are things with Indie Soup Media?
Things are going well. We are in our encore season. And for those people who don't know what that is, encore season is when we replay the first few, either 8 to 13 episodes of that season, the previous season. So we just finished with the spring 2025 season. So we're doing an encore of that entire season leading up to the summer 2025 season. So yeah, it's a little bit of a break, not for me, but for creators.
So what do you think of the logo?
I love. There's so many things I want to ask about where, who, what, when, where, and
Okay, all
why,
right.
and how. But
All
I
right.
love it.
A little bit of a backstory, and people who hang out once in a while with Dr. Tetch and myself, I was always bugging her for years, and I've told people since 2020, one of the greatest assets I have is, well, the greatest asset I have, one of the greatest assets I have is people. And there've been groups of young people, interns, that have been assisting me for years and years and years. And one of the biggest challenges I had was getting social media interns, either social media interns or people who do really good graphics. I have to hail up Alicia Foley for this. Alicia is amazing. When I first met her, I don't know if I told the story live or not. I was interviewing her, and my phone was in front of me, so I just went on Instagram for a minute. And I say, "Hey, there's someone with the last name Foley, and it's not you. Just follow me on Instagram." And I said, she go, "Who's that?" And I said, then he goes, "Oh, that's my mom."
Oh wow!
So her mom started following me. Alisa's following following me. Her brother's following me,
Wow!
and she's been really good. And she really, really, really enjoys doing social media and graphics. Now, if anyone has been looking on my Instagram lately, you've noticed that there are thumbnails for all my Instagram posts.
Hmm.
Alicia's doing all of those.
So that's amazing. You have to, in my opinion, you either love social media or you
Yeah.
detest it. For the
Yes.
people who really love it, they do a great job. So I'm loving that. So I would love to see it. I don't know if you have it where we could see it larger,
I can make it actually could make it larger.
because all I see right now is a black Caillou. So I'm
Well,
like, I need to see it
I
larger.
can make it big. This is one of the things, and this is another thing. People know if you've been following me a little bit, I've been having my tussles with Evie Mux. Well, this show is the reason, and this is one of the reasons why I said, okay, I'm going to start a new show just using this platform so I can really use it and get to know how to use it. Now, you wanted to see it bigger. That
Oh, wow.
now, so continuing the story, and Alicia's also wow, she's doing a lot of things. But I called her up yesterday and I said, hey, you know what? Oh no, I texted her say, hey, can I get 11 minutes of your time? Okay, no problem. I'm launching this new show. Oh, yeah, you told me about it. And say, okay, this is the concept. I gave her the description, and in real time, she created this.
Wow.
And she also said, okay, well, brand colors, blue's a little bit more relaxing, hanging out. So she did this in real time, and it probably took her maybe 10 minutes to do.
Look at what technology and other people doing using the technology can do.
Well, not only that, but she loves doing this stuff. Like she gets excited. She got, oh yeah, love that. Yeah. She got really excited to do this. I said, and she said, you know what? That's exactly what like when you can give someone a description and they just get it. And she just got to say, yeah, I like this. I like this. The blue, sitting, lounging out, relaxing, hanging with Dr. Vibe. Bang,
Mm, I love it.
bang.
Kudos to Alicia. Shout out to Alicia.
Yeah. And for people, if you look in the top row, well, on the other side, you see this is the real time. We are broadcasting live 4:14 Eastern
Okay,
Time, May.
so viewers can see the time.
Well, you can add that with their apps and widgets. You have to do it in their pro scenes, but you can
Okay.
actually, if I want to take it off, I can. And then in the middle, there is a QR code. So if people scan this with their phone, it will take them to my YouTube channel.
Mm. Listen, everything these days needs to thread and lead to something else. So this is like a funnel, basically. So
Yes.
this is the lead magnet, the show, and it's like, hey, if you like this in the show and you like hanging out, maybe you'll like some of the other things. Go ahead and take a picture of the QR code, and it will take you to a bunch of other great content that I, Dr. Vibe, have on the. So it's like a funnel. I love that.
Yeah, yeah. Now, family, it's taken me time, and again, I had my struggles with it, but I said, you know what? Going to stay persistent, learn little by little, and still, there's a lot of other things I've got to learn about the platform, and but now when Dr. Tachi drops a knowledge bomb, we can do this.
Now, see, I like those sound effects. Is it pretty much in real time as you're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
it?
yeah.
Okay.
They give you six sound FX, right? So and then you can add, but you can't add on. But yeah, they have some sound effects. They have.
I played around with look at that. I played around with the sound effects before. Wow, magic.
I could envision Dr. Tachi introducing a segment on Metascope with something like that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I okay, the DJ sound,
Yeah,
the
yeah,
universal
yeah.
DJ sound.
So yeah, so it come like again. I haven't got like they're there. I haven't, but then they come with some pre-recorded music that you can play, and you can also loop each one of the sound effects or the music. Uh, Yeah. So yeah, that's a bit. But what Alicia came up with in that period of time, I just went, wow, wow.
It's
So,
fantastic.
yeah, so this is a little bit about it, and if you got banners, I can just yeah. Oh, it went up in real time. There we go.
And see, the thing I like, here's the thing that I like about EV Mux. I like the aesthetics of the entire thing, from the back end to what you're able to put on stage. It's clean, it's fresh, it's sharp. You've got choices. Now, that doesn't mean you can't do some things with StreamYard, but that's exactly why I create stuff outside of StreamYard and import it
Yeah,
in, because I don't want it to look like everybody else's. You have a little more leeway here because there are more choices here.
yeah, yeah, and I gotta hail up Kirk Nugent because he I had not really put my head into EV Mux a lot, and watching some of his videos, said, okay, let me give this a try. Let me fool around a bit. And the funny thing is, right now, because I'm so used to doing pro scenes in EV Mux, we talked about this yesterday. Doing it in StreamYard has been a head. I don't even try to do it.
Yeah, StreamYard is a headache.
Yeah, it's a headache. But yeah, and so we got, as always, subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube, hit the notification button, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, and also do that. You can change. They come with different fonts. If you want to advertise your business product or service, email me, dr period, VIBE at the dr, VIBESHOW.com. Don't forget, though, if you want to get in touch with the main person, there's Dr. Tachi right there
Me.
on the Instagram. What else? Oh, and can't forget this either. Indie Soup Media
Yes.
is there. So yeah, so these are some of the things, and I'm actually gonna. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna have some fun. I'm gonna have some fun while we're. Let me see if I can do this. I'm gonna really see if I can do this. Oh, I can. Okay, watch out, family. We're gonna have some fun here now. Because one of the nice things is, and I think this is maybe where EV Mux has a little bit of advantage. You can prepare different scenes and in real time and it's not live.
Ah, okay.
So, okay, just give me a second because I just did this. Okay. So at the moment, I'm actually going to do a change of scenes in real time. You family are not seeing it, but I'm preparing it in real time. And we're going to do this. We're going to go here. So totally different scene. The logo's still there. I've put my QR code on the other side. The time code is gone, but if I want, I can add it easily. Again, I can add it and then take a look at it in the editor screen. And then when I'm ready to go live, I can transition it over.
You could you also go back to the other one, to the
Yes,
other scene?
absolutely. All
Yeah.
that takes is I click, it shows it in the editor, and then there we go.
So for it to be visible to us, it needs to be in the editor.
Yes. Well, it doesn't have to because they also have a non-studio mode where you can
Oh,
just.
okay, okay,
But
okay.
for me, I'd like to just make sure everything looks good before I go
Before you
live.
go live with it.
But
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
but you can
yeah.
do it. So if you have especially if you have a producer, you can sort of private chat, say, I want this scene, bring on I want to bring on this person, put them on in the studio in the editor mode, make sure everything looks good, and then transition them over when you feel that it's ready to go live.
Good deal. Good deal.
Yeah.
So, how about when we were talking about this before with the support and the blog.
Good. I have not paid too much attention to that, but I think the last time they've done anything uh town hall wise was 10 months ago. Now I haven't emailed them on anything. Or have I haven't emailed them on anything because I just been going on what I know and one or two other people doing videos. There was a gentleman who did something a few months ago, and it was just purely in dynamic scenes, where I can show you that in a minute. And I said, okay, you know what? If I can at least do it in dynamic scenes, which is somewhat compared to what StreamYard has, okay, I'm going to go with it because at least it's that. And say, okay, let me just lead on, fool around with pro scenes, this, that, and the other thing. So I'm going to change up. I'm going to go to dynamic scene. And actually, I can do this. So that's more StreamYard-ish,
Yes. Yes.
right? And also you can go this look, this look, this look.
We don't see it if you're showing us.
Oh, sorry, my okay. So we go this look, and again, you can add a background in real time if you want. There's this look, there's this look, all these different things.
We're still not seeing it, but
Of course, I forget to do the transition. That's the thing. I gotta remember the transition. So we've got this,
yes.
we have this,
Hey.
we have this,
Hello.
we have this, and like
Okay.
you can add backgrounds and all that. So there's a lot. Dynamic scenes is pretty. What you see is what you get. Whereas proceeds you're allowed to fool around on the fly, per se. You can do it in the dynamic, but it's pretty
Straightforward.
not as flexible. Let's put it that way. But again, you're going to ask me, okay, can I go back to our last scene, pro scene? There we go.
Perfect.
You can go right back to it. Bang. So the key thing I would say with EVMux for people like yourself and myself, prepare ahead of time. Prepare the stuff you want ahead of time, and do your thing. Now, one of the things I'm going to test out today, and I believe, let me just make sure. I'm going to see if it's set up properly. Okay. All right. So what we are going to do is we're going to go for a quick break, and Dr. Tachi will recognize this person digitally. So we'll be right back.
If the black dollar was not important, they wouldn't be doing these type of commercials to get your business back.
The same people who don't want gun checks, mental health checks, all for open carry. And when your kid gets shot in school, they offer thoughts and prayers. Make it make sense.
Y'all don't understand how our government works.
I think the lesson that we learned from that for years is how miserable people are. Their misery is contagious.
There we go.
Wow.
So it transitions back automatically.
Okay, so after a video ends, it will automatically transition back to the
No, no,
last layout you had.
you have to set that up.
If not, there will be a black screen.
There'll be a black screen, and also to you, I got to make sure that you don't put the video on in loop mode.
Okay.
But you can, so in order to have done what I just did, you have to create a scene in Pro Scenes with the video.
Okay.
And
So
then
you have to put that in there. Okay.
and then when you have the video set up in editor, you can in this, and I'll walk you through this. We can do this offline. You can tell it what scene you want it to go to after it's finished.
Mm.
Because as you said, if you don't, it's going to just be a black screen. Or if you don't, and you also have to click off the loop feature, because if you leave the loop feature on, it's going to keep on looping and looping and looping. But you got to click off the loop feature. Then also in this, what they call it, every layer that you add on a scene, you can tweak and adjust in sort of settings wise. So with videos, I loaded the video in editor. When I wanted it to play, I clicked on transition. It played, and because I had it set not to loop and also set it to coming back to the scene we were last at, it came back. And you can set up to whatever scene you want it to come back to. So even if I want to do a dynamic scene, it could do that, etc., etc.
Now, what I'm wondering is So I've used this before. I've tried to use this before for a couple of things. I have not gone live with it yet, but I did use it to play pre-recorded video,
That I haven't done yet.
and I was disappointed with that.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, and it could be user error, but I tried a couple of times for something to go live. It worked like 2 times, and the rest of the time it didn't. I looked for it and I didn't see it. And I did exactly the same thing each time, which leads me to believe either user error or that was like a beta feature for them, which was still buggy. So, but it's been a while since I've done that. So
Well,
the second,
I'm gonna actually experiment with doing that. So I'll put that on my to learn list. I'll set up a pre-recorded video and see what comes with it. Uh,
yes,
yeah, I'm gonna see what happens. But even with the limited amount of knowledge I have right now, I will certainly get comfortable using it for Hangout with Dr. Vibe, and then see if I probably decide which program I'm going to use it of my regular broadcasts. Like I'll probably think of maybe a Black Canada talking first. No, not
yeah,
talking. Oh, Black Men Can Talk,
black man can talk.
and
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
build from there. So I wanted to work with this with a new show.
Yes, no, absolutely. So that was one thing, and then the other thing is I tried recording you doing this to record someone. Again, it's been a few months since I did that,
Okay.
and I don't know what this looks like on a phone because the person I was recording there, because we had tried with StreamYard and he was having trouble. Sometimes people have trouble with stability. It's stable, but if their connection is not the greatest, sometimes there's an issue. So I said, all right, well, let's try Evie Mux because I have that too.
Yeah.
And so I was asking him, can you see yourself? No, no. So he was not able to see himself. Now, mind you, he was joining on a phone. So I don't know if that had anything to do with it, that it really was not optimized for mobile. But
Well,
again, it's been a little while.
it's interesting because at the bottom of my screen there is a look for if you're on a laptop or desktop, and there's also a phone look.
Yeah. So it could be user error in that case too,
Okay.
because he was not very tech
Okay.
savvy.
So now the thing is, it just told me cannot switch landscape portrait mode during live. So was your broadcast a pre-recorded or a live you were doing?
Pre-recorded.
Okay. Don't know, but we'll certainly.
Well, and it was landscape, it was not portrait mode. It was just
Hmm.
regular, but he could not see himself. And I was trying everything to see, but again, it could have been user error. So, and I don't know what this looks like on a mobile device. So,
Okay. Okay.
just some things to think about if people are used to joining there on StreamYard or whatever. I was not able, but maybe they've made the correction. I don't know. That's the thing that's is kind of disconcerting about not of them not having anything recently in terms of
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
the only thing for me.
Yeah. That's the only thing, and there isn't a lot of video on it outside of their own, and their own video stuff is 2 years old. And I know the platform has been upgraded since that time. So why aren't you showing updated video? I'm just going, eh. But you know what? I'm good with what I know so far. The rest will be a little bit of trial and error. One thing
Mhm.
the next thing I'm gonna do is next time I do a show is to see, and I tried to look at it starting a show with a video, whereas in StreamYard you can load up your intro video and all you have to do is click live and it goes. This doesn't have that to my knowledge, and it's like you got to start the live and then you got to wait for it to connect, and there's that, and I don't like that few seconds of whatever is maybe black before you start where the video goes in, etc.
Unless you have a screen up.
Yeah, you could have, yeah, there you go. You could have a screen up, but even yeah, just a little bit not 100% smooth. That's one of the few things I've said, I wish you could just, and there is something they loaded. I saw the video, I'm going, what? What? Yeah, going, yeah,
To be honest, something like this, these are consumer grade tools. So as great as they may be for what we're doing, they're still consumer grade.
Yeah.
There's no reason that it should have the difficulty
Of
of
the
a
user.
pro tool.
Okay.
Make it simple.
So, Dr. Tachi, what is something non live stream oriented you want to chat about there is on your mind? I have maybe one or two things, but anything that you want to chat about?
Oh,
We could go live stream forever. Live streaming forever.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I have been having a great time. I'll talk about the cohort for a little bit, but
Yeah.
that has
Yeah, that-
actually been my
man,
life for the
that,
past couple of weeks.
that's my trip to Florida right now. If I could get in there, go on now.
Yeah. So okay. So and I'll tell you about it in a moment. So for those people who don't know, I don't know who doesn't know now, but I was accepted into the Black Ambition Fundable Founders Learning Lab, which is a cohort of business owners. But mostly Black and Brown business owners in the state of Florida, and it all over Florida. We have people from everywhere, and it's really about seeing you win and helping you win. You get access to coaching. We meet twice a week for like almost 2 hours, and we
Wow.
have homework and things we have to do. There are so many resources, and just we use school. The platform school for
Yeah.
our community. So I was already on school, so that was perfect. But the amount of it's almost too much information if there's that, because you are so surrounded by these wonderful cohort mates, these wonderful business owners and pre-launch business owners. There
Yeah.
is a different level of thinking, and I say that I'm going to say, if I offend you and you're from Florida, well, too bad. There's very little I care about when it comes to that, because I'm telling the truth. For a long time, I have really felt like, aside from the people that I know here, I'm a Delta. I have my sorors. There's some people that I met outside of that, like in the dance community, that are fantastic. People, some in the real estate that are fantastic, and then everybody else is just like, meh. And I realized that I come from a completely different viewpoint. Academia is not a big thing here. There are colleges, but it's not like it is in the Northeast. And I come from the Northeast. So there's a different way of thinking and behaving. So I come here. This place is really about tourism, there's banking, real estate. So medical, because there's a lot of older people here. So there are certain attorneys, because people like slip and fall here, and accidents. So there are only very few um, fields that exist down here.
Yeah.
But what I've discovered through this is there are only certain fields that exist for people who are looking for jobs, for people that are looking to work 9 to 5. Now that I've connected with this cohort, I see something completely different, because a business owner thinks differently than somebody who's going to work. And by the way, some of these people are still working their 9 to 5 as they're working on their dream. But there is a completely different mindset where I'm like, okay, Florida, because I was about to throw you all away. I was about to say, throw the entire state away. But seriously, that is what I've gotten out of this. Just the amount. And I've also been able to see people will post resources for all these. I have like access to this whole long list of grants. I have all
Okay, you
the,
know what? I got to interrupt. How
yeah.
much time do you have comfortably?
To today, this is really it. I've done everything that I've.
Okay.
This is my commitment for the rest
You
of
know
today.
what? You know what I'm going to do? I'm scheduled to have a meeting with Alicia at 5 o'clock, but I'm going to see if we
Oh,
can
okay.
bring. No, 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 no. I want to see if we can bring her on.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to see if I'm going to text her right now, because I just like to showcase her, and also just
Oh,
her
that would be
thought growth.
great.
And let me. So yeah. So keep on talking about the court. This is amazing.
just a level of people that I've been able to meet. As I said, there's somebody posted. There are like two people that have been that person that works as a grant specialist. So she posted a whole bunch of things. Another
Wow.
guy has a whole Excel spreadsheet of several pages of grants with applications, and that he said, "Hey guys, here's this." So what's happening is that this is a space to share the resources. And again, it's almost too much. So I'm like, not to be left out. I'm like, listen, who makes content? Here are some places, people you can watch on YouTube. Here are publications that you can see for all your needs, because yeah, you're making content for your business, but you ought to think about it as, I'm creating mini films, I'm creating, those types of things. So your audience is probably going to be cool with your message as is, but you ought to, I always say this, respect them enough to get better when you can. The way you do that is by learning all these other things. So I post stuff there. I mean, it's just a post for all, if you will.
Okay.
And I've already met with the part of the cohort that lives in the Fort Lauderdale area, Fort
Right.
Lauderdale, Miami.
Yeah.
Once we met up at a Black-owned coffee house here. Mhm.
Ooh,
Called, is it
nice.
Full Circle Coffee or, something Circle Coffee? And they even have their own brand of coffee, so it's not just a coffee house, they've got their own brand of coffee. We were there, we met. Through that, I met somebody brought some other, business owners, and they're not part of the cohort, but they said they're gonna apply for next time, and one of them, her husband has a platform that we can use as Indie Soup. And I talked to
What?
him, and I told him I was going to make an appointment so we could talk further. So, just the level of resources that this has, and so definitely, I would encourage, and they're encouraging people to apply. So, again, this is for people in the state of Florida. What I don't know is if they do this in other states. I can imagine they're moving toward that, but they have other programs. So, they've got the Black Ambition Prize, which is open to anyone, and unfortunately the applications for that closed on May 12th. So you just missed that, but it will open again for next year. They just recently did another prize with together with LVMH.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know LVMH, that's the Louis Vuitton
Okay.
Moet,
So here's my question.
yeah, and Hennessy Group.
This is why we call Hangout with Dr. Vibe. If LVMH approach you for brand sponsorship, what would you tell? What would you say to them?
So I need to do enough research to make sure that it aligns with the values, because this is one thing I'm not going to do.
Yeah.
I don't care how much money is involved. My value system is not for sale. So as far as I know, it's cool. However, I LVMH is comprised of not just Louis Vuitton and Moet and Hennessy. That's also Sephora.
Yeah.
That's off there's a lot underneath there. I can't even name. So they are um, the largest luxury brand conglomerate in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
Next to, there's another one, the one that also owns Fendi. I can't remember their names right now, but
Yeah.
those are the two
They're,
largest.
those are the big boys.
Right. And the thing that I did like about LVMH, 2 years ago, I went to Art Basel, which is always held down here in December, first week of December.
Yeah.
And Art Basel, LVMH had a showcase of Black artists at this space in Miami. So I went to that. And afterwards, so it was a talk back. It was I did a live stream from there with all the art. And then after, my friend and I, everybody else left. My friend and I still happened to be there, and there was a group of students from a school in Miami that were the chief. He's the diversity officer for LVMH was speaking to them. We just sat down so that we could listen. Everybody else was gone. We got all this insight from him. And that's why it's like don't be so quick to rush off after something is over unless you have to go, because you never know who is going to be around and you never know what contact you can make. So I got some cards. I got some cards from the chief person at Sephora,
Oh,
from this guy at LVMH.
oh.
Yes, because we were not in a hurry to go someplace else.
Mm.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Networking takes time. The
Yes.
speed networking thing, that was a thing for a while, kind of like the speed dating, speed networking. I can't really put on my finger who I've actually met in speed networking that I still am connected with, because that's not enough time to make any type of real lasting connection. Take your time.
And patience. Like
Mhm.
for me, I don't. I'm gonna be honest. I don't go to too many networking events. I really don't. And if I do, I want to see who's gonna be there.
It's the typical black fashion. Who all is going to be there?
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, but who's gonna
exactly.
be there because. And for me, I only need one engaging conversation.
Yes,
I don't need to be just going all over the room and like no, I don't need that. I just need one solid conversation. That's all I need.
exactly.
You
And
know?
the whole thing of forming connections has changed so much now.
Well,
Go
I,
ahead.
I like and I know Christopher Lawrence, you're gonna go at me at this. I will ask people, is that person's networking? And I don't like to do networking. I like to build relationships.
Right. And I can't build relationships with 10 million people. So if I if I am spending my time with you, then it's because I believe that there's something that we could build, that there's some collaborative effort
So
that
this is
could come out of
so
this.
this is a good thing. Alicia has messaged me back and I say I'm sending her a special link for 5 p.m. So she has no idea that this is happening. So this is
Well,
gonna make her
should you tell her that it's gonna
no,
be live so she's not
no,
surprised?
no, 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 I no.
Okay.
I'm gonna no, because I'm gonna hail her up and say, look at the great creation you did. And I said, and it's live, so I wanted to celebrate the great work you did.
Okay.
That's the way no, she's like that. She just I just felt I'm very spontaneous more and more as I go on in this journey. I like to do things in real time because
Yes. No, I agree, and I guess it comes with knowing the person. I'm
yeah,
just thinking about in this day and age, this media day and age of getting consent before you do those things.
she'll be fine.
Okay.
She'll
Okay.
be, she'll
Okay.
she'll be fine. I'm just gonna say oh because and it's a good I just gonna do it. But I agree the whole networking thing. The words wearing me out.
Mm.
Like networking. Like, okay, yeah. And then the next thing is, how many people follow up with you?
Barely any, and you know what the thing is too? This is what I've discovered. This is why I will shout this cohort from the mountaintop, because it's curated. It's not just any and everyone, and that's
Right.
not a slight to any, it's not. But because it's curated, you know that the people that are in here, I mean, Pharrell Williams is involved with this, okay? The
Hello.
people that are in it are serious and want to see something happen. And so if we're connecting and networking, and that doesn't mean you're going to network with everyone, but at least you have some sort of notion that these people are vetted in some sort of way. Whereas when you just go to anything, it's like, oh, okay. They're like, oh, well, I make crayons. Well, that's wonderful. It's not really related to what I do, but it's okay. That's great. Um, Maybe I know somebody who has kids who would love crayons like that. That could be, but
Here's a perfect example of, I guess you call it network, and I've shared it periodically on some of my shows about during the pandemic. Everyone was on Zoom calls, and there was an organization that I was affiliated with at the time. They brought on this gentleman. I'm going to hail him out, named John Wilson. John Wilson's 81 years old. he, this and it gets deeper, and we're doing some fill time before we surprise Alicia here. And He runs an organization called CEO Global Network. And what they do is they're basically an executive coaching organization. They coach CEOs and high-level entrepreneurs. And he was on this Zoom call. I said, you know what? This guy's dropping knowledge bombs. I'm going to reach out to him during that Zoom call. Hey, can I get 11 minutes of your time? Sounds familiar? and he said, sure. We got on a call. Oh, by the way, he started the company when he was 67.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So he's been an entrepreneur forever and ever and ever and ever. So we got on a call together. And again, we great, just knowledge and all this is, hey, you know what, John, can I get half an hour of your time every month just for mentorship? He said, sure. And I said, hey, would you like to come on my show? He said, sure. I'm going, okay, all right. So I'm getting,
that's easy.
yeah, 81 years of knowledge. And then we did a few months of that. And, you know, it ran, he got things to us. Hey, no problem. 3 or 4 months of 90 minutes of his time. Thank you. But a few months down the road, he sends me an email and says, Dr. Vibe, we're starting our speakers series again. You know, we couldn't do it, obviously, during COVID. We couldn't do it in person. You know, we're doing our next event. I'd love you to come and invite anyone you want. Okay.
You didn't have to tell me twice.
Exactly. It says,
Wow.
just go to the Everbright, click on it. Here's a code for you and your guests, no charge.
Wow.
I go on the Everbright, it's $500 a crack. Right? So this is so for event organizers, this is so people networking. So there's a number of different elements here that I want to share with you. First of all, he gave his time for me, with me, and learned. And then I asked him, and he said, sure, go on so I invited 3 other people. No problem. Go to the event. Go through the doors. Who's the first person who greets me? Oh, and there's piles of people there. Who's the first? Him.
Oh.
Comes up to me. Dr. Vibe, it's a pleasure to meet you in person. So glad you can be here. The man's 81 years old, and I've said this, and I'll keep on saying this. He shook my hand like I got a hand shook by an 18-year-old.
Wow.
Love to have you, this and that, da, da, da. And of course, everyone who's there, they got name tags all nicely laid out, etc. And hail up to his daughter, Jen. Incredible. Go there. We sit at a table. He gets up at the front. Welcome, all they said. This is what time we're going to start. This is what time we're going for break. This is what time we're coming back from great break. And this is what time we're finishing.
Wow.
Okay. Wow. During break time, I go up and say, John, this is phenomenal. He says, oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Hey, you got a message? Sure, John, anything for you. Let me introduce you to our executive team. Okay. So, okay. First gentleman you introduce it. Well, this is the president of CEO Global, Ron Barr. We call him the Hamburger Man. I said, John, why do you call him the Hamburger Man? Oh, he was president of Wendy's Canada for 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Okay. We go, lunch finishes, the event finishes 10 minutes early. Everything they do, whether it's live or virtual, starts on time and ends on time. No jokes. He is invited, and they do these things every like 4 or 5 months. He always invites me.
Oh,
bring a guest. And this is one of the reasons we just call Hangin With Dr. We just share stories. They had one about 2 weeks ago, and he sent me an email saying, haven't spoke to you for a bit. We're having another speaker series. Would love you to come. And I felt bad because I hadn't thanked him from the last time. When I went to this event, I got there early. And so when they have their breakfast or like breakfast morning meetings, they go from 8 o'clock till 1. Wow. 7:15 breakfast, everything starts at 8. Got there early and I saw him there, said, John, I really feel bad because I haven't said thank you. He says, no need, Dr. Vibe. No need. It's all good. He says, I'm glad to have you here.
Mm.
And I got, it's emotional for me because I could feel it in his heart, and I felt really touched by him saying that. He says, and you know, you have guys says, and you know what? We need to catch up. But when they do their breakfast, this last one was incredible. They had a gentleman, keynote speaker, who had him and his wife have the largest bakery organization in Atlantic Canada. They have distribution right in every Costco in Canada.
Wow.
But he talked about the highs and the lows of building their business.
Mm.
One of the things, and I'm repeating it a lot, but he said, he says, you always hear that term, it takes a village to raise a child. He says, it takes a village to raise a business. When I heard that, I went, I'm good. I don't even need anything else for the rest of the day. Just that right there.
Absolutely.
The funny thing is he introduced himself before, and I didn't king in that he was a keynote speaker when we were chatting. And then after he finished on the break, he came up and says, how did I do? He says, why are you asking me? He says, well, I was looking at your reaction throughout to see if you thought it was good by your body language.
Mm.
I just went, wow. And then they also had an economist on there talking about the theme. It was leadership in uncertain times.
Mm. Hold that thought, Dr. Vibe, before you go on. I know she's about to come on in 4 minutes. Now, I'm saying this because I'm a woman. Please make sure she's camera ready before.
She's camera ready. She's camera ready.
Okay, I'm just trying to cover all bases.
No problem. No
right,
problem. She's cool and relaxed. She's one of these young people that just do the thing. And what is this game? Is it Minecraft? Her and her brother love to play.
Okay, she's a Minecraft person.
You're a Minecrafter, but thank you. Yeah, no problem. And they had an economist on. They had another gentleman who talked about he does a lot of coaching of business, and he said how little businesses are asking for help in, well, maybe more in the US because it's really hitting there, but Canadian businesses aren't really going deep on us about knowing how should they navigate all these tariffs. They know they're out there, but how they navigate through them, not there. And I've got to follow up with one of the people. Well, John, I have to follow up with. It's really guilty. I haven't followed up with him, but I got to send him a video message. One of the things that this gentleman said, who deals with business relations, said he asked a room of 300 people. He asked, how many of you have contacted your political representative locally and nationally in the last 6 months? And they're
probably zero.
They're no more than 10% of the room.
Wow.
And he said, guys, why aren't you doing that? He says, do you realize how much business government does?
Mm.
Do you know how many contracts are in government? He says, you need to go and visit and make yourself known to your local, well, in the States, be local, state, federal government representatives to know they know who you are.
Absolutely. I think sometimes we only think about contacting our representatives when there's a problem.
Or they come to us during the
Or
election.
an election. Yeah, they come to us during an election, but if we have a problem, we will go to them. But you want to preempt that before there's ever any issue. You want to know who they are, have them know who you are. I'm guilty. I don't.
I'm guilty too. But then another gentleman we met at, like, he invites me to these events, and I go because the knowledge is just ridiculous. Another gentleman, we went to one of their events about a year ago at a really nice, well, some other events. I went to one where they had 13 business leaders. So 2-hour luncheon at a country club, food and mac and all that. 2-hour session, to the point. First hour talked about how do you find good people. Second hour, how do you keep good people? Because if you have good people, everyone said, you bet headhunters or whatever are coming after them. What can you put in place that when they get that call or they get that text, for them to say, you know what, I'm good where I am,
Right.
was phenomenal. There's another gentleman, we actually, before I came on the show today, he used to be president of Volvo International.
Mm.
And and now it's myself, and actually there's one of the things I do is I sit on an advisory board for a virtual CFO company. Go figure. But it's been great. And now he's agreed with myself and this lady who runs a virtual CFO company. We do check-ins with him every 2 weeks, and he gives us strategy.
Wow.
And in return, I said, well, what can we do for you? He says, well, I'd like to get, he goes, my brand. She says, I'm familiar with these words, my brand. My daughters tell me I need to brand myself. He's a consultant. I said, well, you know what? We're planning, myself and this year, we're planning to start a show with some business leaders to get some business perspectives on. And I said, hey, you know what? We're planning to start this new show. Would you like to be our first guest? You go, sure, I'd love to be.
And that's what it's about, because you could easily go to these things and get lost in the conversation and not make use of the people that are actually in the room. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's
But
good.
and the right people, just one or two of those people, and like this gentleman we spoke with today, he was so good because he was providing some suggestions for this lady who runs a virtual CFO, and he said, you know what, you don't. There's one thing to engage with your employees, but you also want to get your employees to thrive. So engagement is just, the work tasks and all that, but where can you help them thrive? Not necessarily in business. There's a comment here.
Yeah, it's Minnie on cam. Hey,
How are
hey,
you?
Minnie on cam.
What's going on? So Mini on Cam, we're just here on the platform that I've been fooling around with for a while, EVX, and I saw a post from you. You went live, was it on Instagram recently, Mini on Cam?
How did I miss that?
And I'd like to chat with you because I want to see if there's any way I can serve you, because it sounds like many people, we're all having challenges in different areas. And Instagram update. Okay, so you know
Oh,
what?
for sure.
Here we go.
Okay.
So I'll put it on the screen. Hey, she says.
Hey, Minnie on cam.
All right, and we got something we're gonna do. She goes, also, Instagram uploaded shorts, and she goes, I was live on Monday on YouTube at 7 p.m.
So I have
Oh,
to make sure that I'm following you on YouTube, because I know
yes.
I'm following you on what happens is when we're in your show, this is what YouTube needs to be better about. There's no way to click on a person and follow them. You have to actually go and type in their name to find them and do it. So it takes you outside of the world of that show. It'd be easier if I could just click and follow. So I'm gonna do that.
Okay, okay,
Let's do
so
that now.
Alicia, you need to put on your camera, please and thank you. All right, that's better. Just give me a second, because we're gonna I gotta do something here. So I gotta adjust it because we're gonna bring Alicia on. Yeah, we're gonna bring you on. You're gonna be fine. You're gonna be fine. We want to celebrate you, Alicia. So just be cool. I, I hear her. Oh my. Okay, we're gonna. It's all good. She's nervous. It's all right. Just give me a second. I'm gonna mute you for a second because we can hear you. So I'm gonna mute you just for a second. Ah, okay. We're gonna get this. This is where I produce. If you have a producer, this is when this makes this platform even better. But I'm just setting the thing up. Okay. Okay. Let me just do this. It didn't do exactly, but yeah. So that's a CEO global story. This is
Mm.
not, that's when networking is really good. And we're also offering, what can we do for him? So it's
Mhm.
not, the screen isn't 100%. Okay, let me move this over for Alicia. Okay, it's only going to do it. Okay, you know what? I'm just going to bring her on and I'll fool around along the way. We want to celebrate you, Alicia, because you did an amazing job on this thing. So, Alicia Foley, unmute your microphone.
Oh, hello.
We got you. You're all good.
Oh, hello.
Hello.
Wait, this is live, right?
100%.
Oh my god. Okay.
You're good.
It's just not. I'm used to being behind the scenes, so it's just like
You're not going to be up for long.
okay.
You're not going to be up for long, but I wanted to say thank you live for the logo.
Oh, thank you. Oh,
It's
And
really nice.
oh, thank you. Canva.
Listen, it's really nice.
Aw, thank you. Thank you. And like AI did the couch thing, so yeah, there we go. Thank God for AI.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it still takes vision and skill to prompt AI to do what you want. You can't just throw up any rubbish. So great job.
Oh, thank you so much. That means a lot.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
Alicia, I've mentioned Dr. Tachi in passing, and this is the first show we're doing with Hanging with Dr. Vibe, which you're an integral part of. With the logo, I said, you know what? I know I may have caught you a little off guard, but you're good because we're praising you, and I wanted to praise you live because I know you're gonna say, "Mom, look what Dr. Vibe did. He gave me."
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh
But-
yeah. I'll be like,
so-
guess what happened today?
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Dr. Tachi is a media professor, content creator. Do you have any questions about media, film, video stuff that you'd like to ask Dr. Tachi?
Oh man, I'm put on the spot here. Well, I guess is there any advice that you would say to like an upcoming like film student, like someone who wants to get into, I guess like the film industry, like I'm really interested in social media and just kind of getting your foot in the door.
So you're interested in social media within the film industry, or you want to do film and social media?
Yeah, so I definitely like both. I
Okay.
like being on set because it gets me out of the house.
Okay.
But I like being on set and being part of that community as well. But I also really enjoy social media. So it's just like, oh, what do I want to do? So I'm kind of like exploring both paths, I guess you could say.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So number one, uh, consume the type of media that you want to create, whether it is social media, things that you're posting for yourself or other people, or films that you want to direct, produce, create, shoot, whatever. Make sure that you are consuming that type of content. You can never what gets me is like before I used to have students that be like, oh, I think I want to be an anchor. I said, okay, well, you have to, most anchors start off as reporters and they have a beat. Okay. Well, what news do you listen to, read, watch? Oh, I don't listen to the news. Go sit down. Because you have shown me that you're not serious about the craft. The only way you get experience in the craft is by consuming other people who are involved in the craft. Does that make sense? So be like that, be the change you want to see in the world, consume the media that you want to create. That's number one. Number two, uh, follow these people that are doing things. One thing that Dr. Vibe and I do is that we follow so many people on YouTube that do this type of thing, have a lot of experience in this type of thing that has surpassed what we've done. So because you don't grow if you are staying only around the same types of people. So you should aim to surround yourself with people that are doing better than you are or are where you want to be, right? Number three, this is not to say that you cannot be around people that are not in the same industry or that are not doing what you're doing, But trust me, if you hang around with fools, you yourself will become a fool, even if you're not now. So you've got to surround yourself with the type of people that are affirming, that push you towards what you want to, where you want to go. You should also not be the most learned one in that group. For example, I'm a dancer, and when I was dancing up in DC, I danced in three dance companies. It was challenging because even though I dance, still there's some people that were like have been dancing for a long time professionally, and I didn't start until a little bit later. So I got there, but it took more effort. But it was a good push to have me learn things and surpass my abilities. So then when I moved to Florida and I attempted to get involved in more dance stuff here, it was here, but dance here is really dedicated to um, younger people in competition dance or older people that are just looking for something to do. So when I would go to a dance class and it was older people, they would tell me, "Well, you can actually do 3 turns. So you do three." And no, I want everybody to do. I want people doing 4 and 5 so I can aspire to that. So does that make sense? That long-winded thing that you should be surrounding yourself with people who can do more than you because it pushes you to stretch to where they are. Those are 3 things. I don't know if that's helpful. But
Very
and another thing is actually follow the publications in your field. So you should really have a list of publications, videos as well, video people and creators, but publications. So there's something called No Film School, and it really teaches you, it gives you info on cameras and all this other stuff, because the thing is, like, no film school, you don't have to go to film school to learn this, but these are professionals who are teaching you this stuff. So video maker is another thing, and they often have live events on Wednesdays. So follow those publications,
Yeah.
especially the ones that are giving you extra education. And now I'm done. That's what I would say.
Yeah. Oh, that's very helpful. Thank you. That's very
Sure.
helpful. Thank
Sure.
Nothing else? That was too easy.
you. No, very, very helpful.
Okay. All right. Well, there are some comments. Minnie on cam is saying she's got some things going on here. She's saying uh you have to shadow and practice the job you want.
Mhm.
That's true.
Says you become the average you surround yourself with.
Yeah.
Also, I think piggybacking what Dr. Ty says, and also don't be the smartest person in the room. Find a room where you are a mentor and you are also a mentee.
That's
Like,
good.
Yeah.
and industry events. Attend the conference in your industry and profession. And she says VizTech used to host a consumer expo. I think they still have it.
Can I piggyback off of something? The industry events, 100%.
Yeah.
But I just wrote something on Substack about because my anniversary for my PhD just came up.
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you. So 20 years ago, I got my PhD. And
Wow.
yeah, yeah, and it does it. And the funny thing is, like, we were all babies when we just like hustled and went straight through. And so 20 years ago, I got my PhD from Howard, and I shared one thing that I learned in all of that. I learned a lot of things, but Howard was very in the school of communication. They were very much about going to NCA, which is the National Communication Association. You all probably have ICA and stuff up there. Actually, we've had NC no, AEJMC we've had up in Toronto. But I used to go to those conferences because NCA is where all the faculty and staff went. They encouraged us to present at NCA, submit your papers to NCA. The dean of the graduate school was the president of NCA at one point. And so that's when we went. But then in 2008, I discovered I don't really like NCA. These people, they're fine, but they're interested in the academic end of communication, and I'm trying to be on the practical end of communication, the mass media. What are the best cameras? What is this editing? What are the new techniques for this? And that's what my students cared about. So me being at NCA did nothing for them. So I just in 2008, after the conference in San Francisco, No, not San Francisco, San Diego. I decided, yeah, this is probably the last one. I did present one more year after that in 2013, but I haven't been back since because I found other conferences that align with my goals. So when you're selecting conferences and things, make sure they align with your goals and they don't only have to be in your industry. In fact, you can learn more when you go to conferences that are in aligned industries. I work with a lot of realtors in what I do. I'm not a real estate professional, but me going to the conferences and events they have puts me in the frame of mind of what realtors want, what they need, and that makes me marketable to realtors. So also look at conferences and events that are in fields that you want to be aligned with, adjacent fields.
For sure. Yeah, and our teachers are always telling us like go to film screenings and like TIFF because it's very important. That's how you make connections because that's really all that it's about. You know, if you know someone, that's how you kind of get your foot in the door with the film industry. So yeah, that's very important is putting yourself out there and you know, making connections, taking yourself places.
Yes, yes. Looking for opportunities on every single opportunity I've looked at, I've done because, and obviously this was prior to widespread AI, doing a Google search and saying fellowships for professors in media, XYZ, and a whole bunch of stuff came up. You know, I've gotten every single one that I applied for. Some I had to apply for, one I had to apply for twice, but I got it, right? Also, the fact of in 2000, what year was that? 2010. I went to Sundance in Sundance, in not in Sundance in Park City, Utah. So when I went, I wasn't just going to Sundance. I got accepted into a special conference that they were doing for like new media and film, and I was sitting next to Malcolm Lee, who is Spike Lee's cousin, the filmmaker that did The Inkwell and all of that. So, you know, we were the only two melanated people. So, of course, we nodded at each other. We sat next to each other. But it's that type of thing because I looked for opportunities. I could have just gone to Sundance, but I looked for what else is there that is a special thing. While I was there, I also stumbled upon something. There was a podcaster who at the time had a show on the OWN network. And I happened to stumble upon an event that he was doing. There weren't a whole lot of us there, but I got connected with him because of that. So it's just really looking for these conferences, as these events, but also doing searches for these special things. Put in your field, put in what you're trying to do, put in fellowship, put in special events. Stuff will come up. Okay, I'm done for real.
Mignon Cam says, yes, I went to a pet conference when I had cats to learn more about them and came out with lots of free stuff.
Yes. Yes.
And she says, hot docs. I got to talk to the producer of many of the documentaries that were in my industry.
Mm, mm.
There you go. Any more questions, Dr. Foley? I should have changed your name, but I didn't do it this time.
Oh, well, yeah. Well, thank God it's Alicia Foley because, yeah, this is live. But yeah, that was great. Yeah, I'm happy you like the thumbnail I did. Yeah, it looks really
It looks amazing.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad.
What have you not learned in your course that you're still looking to learn, Alicia?
Oh man, there's probably lots of things.
Give one, because maybe Dr. Tachi can address it.
Maybe.
Hmm. Oh my gosh. And this is live too, so this is just fun. See,
No,
like
no
I'm not used to I'm used to being behind the camera, so
Gotta get out of your comfort zone once in a
yeah,
while.
you know, yeah, that's right. I mean, oh gosh. You know, they tell us a lot about, the importance of making connections and all of that, but they really don't set us up for like after graduation, like what happens after graduation. That's like the question everybody has. And it's kind of like, okay, like we helped you, but what now? And so that's kind of my biggest worry, is because, like, we're all still students at the end of the day, and we don't have the same connections as all of the teachers do, because they obviously have worked in the film industry. So I mean, that can be helpful too, but they kind of were like, oh, just go make connections, but you never know.
So that is difficult.
Yeah.
I will say this though, you can't wait until it's time for you to graduate before you have something lined up if you are intending to work in the traditional industry.
Yeah.
If you're intending to work in the traditional industry, what year are you?
I am in third year. So next year's my last year, and then I graduate in 2026.
Okay, so you really should now be deciding what it is I want to do and how I'm going to get there. And all of this is really helpful. Have you pinpointed where you think, first of all, are you staying in Canada or are
Um,
you going somewhere else?
yeah, I guess while I'm starting, probably Canada and Toronto, because
Okay.
Toronto has a good film, you know. But I'm open to traveling, because that's one of the main reasons that I wanted to go into film, was to see the world and to get out. So yeah, like open to it.
Definitely look at you notice I'm saying I'm not saying come here. We have problems right now.
Yeah.
Um, you
Yeah.
get here people like, what happened to Alicia? Okay, so I would not. However, I would definitely look at Europe. There are so many different micro film industries there, micro production industries. And really, these days, there's not much difference between quote unquote television and film. The tools you're going to be using are the same. It's just platform. And even then, so I would really start investigating what's happening in Europe, Asia. What's happening over on the Asian front? There's so much great Asian film. Obviously, it's helpful if you speak the language, but that's not always that all doesn't always have to be the case. The interesting thing is a friend of mine from grad school, Sean Tierney, he lived in Hong Kong for a long time because after he graduated, he was teaching at Hong Kong Baptist University, so he lived there for a long time and he got involved in the Hong Kong film industry. Why?
Wow.
Because he's 6'4". He's white and 6'4". So they always he told me they would always use him as the menacing villain. So I was like, hey, whatever, you got into the film, but that's the interesting thing. So he made a lot of films while he was over there, just because he was different, a little bit different. Even though there are Europeans that live in Hong Kong, so it's not the thing. But that lets you know that there is a huge film industry in different Asian countries, and looking how you can get involved there or television, film or television, that could be a really great thing. So there are so many other industries outside of Hollywood. So definitely explore.
Yeah,
Al-
for sure. I really want to go to Europe, so that makes me happy that you say that.
Alicia, I want to ask, where do you get your creativity from? Where you have this gift, and you're laughing, but I think it's amazing.
Oh, thank you very much.
And we were saying earlier on before you came on, you actually love doing this stuff.
I do like it.
Mm.
And I always liked this stuff. Like ever since I was really young, I used to make like home videos, like home movies with my friends. And I would love to, get back home and edit it. I was just always so excited. And I've just always been a creative person. Like I've always just done art my whole life. I've never liked math. Like I've just always been loving the arts.
That's
um,
why another reason why we get along so
Yeah,
well.
I just love the
Mm.
arts, Like I've always loved coloring, drawing, painting, all of that stuff. And then yeah, like when I was younger, I used to make home movies on my iPad, on
Oh
iMovie,
wow.
and edit all of them. And then like even before school, like I started my own YouTube channel, and it was only for fun.
Wow.
It was only for fun, and it was just a craft channel, because it was something I like to do. So it was nothing for like money or anything. It was literally just a hobby. because that's what I like to do. I really enjoy it. And then, yeah, this is where I am today is my film industry or Sheridan. Yeah, and I just really enjoy it. My whole life, I just really like the arts. So, yeah,
Mm.
It
yeah,
shows.
yeah. And I guess because like my mom is also in the arts and like my whole family is in the arts, so
Okay.
I just grew up with that.
Cool.
Good
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
This is good. All right. Well, you know what? We're going to shut it down because one, Dr. Tachi, you and I have been hanging out for about an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Two, Alicia and I have a meeting because she's come up with more exciting stuff for me to look at.
How exciting is that? Wow.
Yeah, I look forward to the conversations. She's always got this new stuff and she's got such great energy.
Aw.
Great energy. So, any final words, Dr. Tachi, Alicia, and my on the first real live episode of Hanging with Dr. Vibe? Any final words?
Well, thank you for having me on the first episode of this. As if you don't have 10 million other shows and a lot to do, I'm. It's really good to see you hanging out and just having general conversations.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
this is
yeah.
a lot of fun. So thank you, and Alicia, great job with the logo, and it's so nice to meet you.
Thank you so much. It was great
Mhm.
to meet you.
Absolutely.
Is it okay hang out with me, Dr. Miss Foley? Is it fun?
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
have
all fun.
we have such fun in our meetings. Believe me, it's just hilarious. Work is like this, the fun is like that. When we
Wow.
have conversations. Uh and Minnie had one more thing. She had a few more things. She says, book recommendation, Ken Coleman, The Proximity Principle, the proven strategy that will lead to a career you love. Love it.
Mm.
Also, Daniel Priestley, Key Person of Influence, Canadian edition. The 5-step method to become one of the most highly valued and highly paid people in your industry.
Wow.
And she corrects Daniel Priestley. Yes. Yeah. Daniel Priestley is the real deal. I've read one or two of his books in the past. He is the real deal.
Good stuff. I will have to check that out.
All right. So before we leave, some things don't change when I'm on a show. Subscribe to the Dr. Vibe Show on YouTube and hit the notification, like the Dr. Vibe Show on Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram to advertise your business, product, or service on any of the things. Dr. Taji makes it sound like I'm on a million shows. I'm
You
not.
are.
No, it's less than double digits, so behave yourself. If you want to get a hold of Dr. Tachi, that's the best way. At dr_TACHI on Instagram. Don't forget Indie Soup Media. That's the place. That's the place. And if you want to get a hold of me, there's the website, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, X, email, Substack, which I've really got to pay some more attention to. And actually, you know what? And do you remember Dr. Ava Laura?
I do remember Ava Laura. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope to speak with her, but many, many years ago, she said, "Don't. If you want to find Dr. Vibe, he's Googleicious." I'll never forget when she said that. That I'm Googleicious.
Wow.
But that is fun. So everybody, as always, don't just manage your time, manage your energy. Remember to give yourself. No, that's way off. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get small to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher,
Higher
brighter,
and
love,
wider.
faith, and respect. She knows it better than I do. My gosh. And don't just manage your time, manage your
And
energy. If
energy.
you're not making money, make history, try to do both,
Mm-hmm.
make it better. Or as Dr. Ty say, be more That's her
Yes.
version. Make it better. Be more Thank you, everybody. And these will be popping up every once in a while. So thank you so much. Have a great day whenever you're watching this. Be well and keep the faith.
Bye.